Hey, what's up guys, it's Hoodamania360, and today I'm going to be reviewing the one, the only, the hilarious Spaceballs. So let's get this started. So back in the 80s, there were a lot of crazy movies like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, The Goonies, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and Ghostbusters. Spaceballs is probably the craziest 80s movies. I mean, then again, I wasn't around in the 80s, so what do I know? I mean, don't get me wrong though, Spaceballs is an absolutely amazing movie, yet it's a parody of Star Wars. The weirdest thing is I find Spaceballs uh, a lot better than most of the Star Wars movies out there. Yeah, this movie's that damn good. Alright, here's the review. So the film starts off with our villain, Dark Helmet, a parodied version of Darth Vader. And at first he seems like a slightly intimidating bad guy, but then this happens. So what's going on is that their ship is running out of air and they decide to suck out all the air of another planet called Druidia and bring it to their planet. I know, it's a stupid ass plan, but it gets a lot funnier. This is where we meet the princess of Druidia, Princess Vespa, and her droid Dot, who, I'll be honest, kinda looks like C-3PO got plastic surgery. Anyways, Vespa is getting married, but she doesn't love the groom, so she runs away and takes off on a ship into space with Dot, and they end up in Dark Helmet's radar. And as he's beaming them on their ship, Vespa calls her father to help them. That's where we meet our heroes of the story, Lone Star and his sidekick, a half-human and half-animal, Barf. I'm not joking, that's literally his name, Barf. You see, they're parodied versions of Han Solo and Chewbacca, and they agree to help for $1 million because they owe a gangster a lot of money. Which, yeah, it does sound like Han Solo and Chewbacca. When they get inside of the ship, they jam the radar, literally by throwing raspberry jam in it, and then Barf brings Vespa and Dot aboard the ship, and Dark Helmet finds out what happened, and he decides to attack Lone Star's ship, but they leave in hyperspeed. Dark Helmet's general suggests they go into lightspeed, but Helmet says it's too slow and forces him to go to the fastest speed they have on the ship, which is ludicrous speed, and this happens. Once they lose Spaceball's ship, they end up running out of gas and crash on a desert planet, and that's where Lone Star and Vespa meet and get into an argument. So Barf broke up the fight and suggested that they leave and find gas and shelter in case Spaceballs show up. So after they leave, it turns night and Lone Star and Vespa start talking, and they actually have chemistry, and they're about to kiss until an alarm goes off on Dot, which is apparently supposed to protect Vespa from getting kissed, touched, or fucked, or something. And since everyone is now awake because of the alarm, they decide to take off before the sun comes up. Eventually the sun came up and it became hot. So hot, everyone passed out. But they were saved by, I think, kids wearing wizard robes. They gave them water and told them to follow them. Yogurt told him that he's the keeper of a power that's a parody of the Force called the Schwartz, and decides to train Lone Star. Later that night, Dark Helmet shows up and kidnaps Vespa and Dot. So Lone Star, Barf, and Yogurt go back to the ship and refill it. And Yogurt gives Lone Star a fortune cookie and a Schwartz ring, which is supposed to be a lightsaber. Then Lone Star and Barf say their goodbyes to Yogurt and take off to save Vespa and Dot. So they save Vespa and Dot and make a plan to destroy Spaceballs once and for all. So Lone Star goes in and finds the self-destruct button. Why there's a self-destruct button on the ship, I have no fucking clue. When he's about to press the button, Dark Helmet shows up, and turns out Helmet has the Schwartz ring too, and they quote-unquote lightsaber fight. Lone Star defeats Helmet and pushes the button, leaves with Barf, Vespa, and Dot, and Spaceballs blows up. Lone Star and Barf eventually find out that the gangster they owe money died, so Barf suggests that they keep the money for themselves. But when they return Vespa and Dot, Lone Star turns down the money because he fell in love with Vespa. And after they leave, Barf opens up the fortune cookie that Yogurt gave him, and they see a hologram of Yogurt. And he tells them that Lone Star is actually a prince. You see, throughout the movie, he was wearing a necklace with writing around it, although he didn't know what it meant. And he had that all throughout his life. But now that he knows he's a prince, he turns around and goes back to Druidia and stops Vesper from getting married. Tells her what the necklace means, proposes to her, and she says yes, and they get married and live happily ever after. And that's the end of the movie. I know it may sound like a crappy ripoff of Star Wars to you late Gen Z kids, but it's actually something worth checking out. It has a good story, great characters, awesome humor. Overall, I rate this film a 9 out of 10. Alright you guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like, subscribe, comment down below what you want me to review in the future. Also, sorry this video was late. I've been busy with online school, but now I'm finished, so I'll try to get videos out when I can. So that's it everyone. I'll see you in the next video. Later.